This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma. Updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com, and if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Capricorn and Capricorn rising. Welcome to your horoscope for the full moon eclipse in Taurus, happening on the 8th of November at 2 minutes past 10 p.m. if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. So first of all, how was your Scorpio eclipse? Are you all right? Did everything go okay in your sense of community? You know, was everything okay with your friends? Was there shifts that maybe occurred there? Was there a sort of revelation that you came across in regard to community? I hope everything was all right. We're entering into the full moon eclipse in Taurus. So that's on the opposite end of the spectrum on your chart. This is the house of where we express ourselves. Yeah. The fifth house is where we have access to joy and to creativity and to pride in ourselves. It's the house where we can access relationship with children and we can nurture them and we can make them proud of themselves and we can grow in that world. We can investigate the relationship with our inner child and bring them out to play. Have them take a seat at our table. Less to do with community, if you can see the same but different here, less to do with community and more to do with the individuation, the individual expression. So to have an eclipse here is potentially really exciting. It could be an invitation for you to come to some sort of windfall. There could be stuff around this eclipse that has to do with kids or expression or art or yourself, you know, the individual that shows itself. I want you to think there's a couple of dates that I want you to keep in mind, Capricorn. So the 19th of November of last year, 2021, was the first eclipse we had in Taurus. And then the 30th of April of this year was the second eclipse we had in Taurus, and now we're coming up to the third. So when you consider your life from that fifth house vantage point, from that, and it's interesting that the sun came out in your intuitive tarot for this reading because the sun perfectly sums up the fifth house. There's that beautiful little angel child on the back of a horse who has nothing to hide, nothing to fear, who is just fully embodied and actualized and self-expressive, surrounded by sunflowers. The sun's beaming down. Gorgeous. That's what I want you to think about when you think of the fifth house, okay? That and diligence, you know, strength. But yeah, this kind of goldenness of this card is really what we can expect to enjoy from a fifth house lunation. So we've been having eclipses in this place for you for a year now, and there's going to be, you know, one more to come after this. But in that way, I wonder, and let's look at it in relationship to the other planets too, because that's where the lunation is happening. There's also another square, and we've spoken about this square with Saturn. If you remember, Saturn very slowly is just stationed direct, so it's moved away from its retrograde position and is moving forward gently at 18 degrees of Aquarius, and that's forming a square with the sun and the moon at this lunation. It's kind of a flip from a couple of different charts that we've looked at, but it's definitely an overarching theme. If you think about it in terms of Aquarius representing the collective consciousness and the way forward, and Taurus representing the land. So if you zoom out away from your individual birth chart and think about us all together, this is an example of that pressure point. It's sort of like the land, Taurus, is urging humanity to check themselves and go over their habits and recognize that there needs to be a change that occurs here in order for us to move forward. In your chart, Taurus is the 5th house of self-expression, and Aquarius is your 2nd house of your talents, your skills, your access to money and abundance and your values. So there's a restriction there. It almost feels like there's like a sort of like heavy budgeting that's been going on. This lunation, this full moon eclipse in the 5th, in the sun card, the sun card house, is pressurizing that boundary in your 2nd, maybe a limitation as far as you can see it as to what it is you are worth, what it is that you can achieve for yourself, what access you have to autonomy, to taking care of yourself. The two kind of have something, they're quite related in some way, aren't they? The 5th and the 2nd. It's about the self as opposed to the group, and it's about autonomy and individuality. So I feel that there's going to be some sense of a power outage that they're going to be pulling the plug, universally, proverbially speaking, on perhaps this pressure or this stopgap that you might be feeling. Your resources, your access to abundance, and your expression, are they related in some way? This eclipse, I feel, is going to be bringing that to the forefront for you, bringing that to the surface, finding the links or finding the power to move past that square, to push it on through. Saturn isn't going anywhere. Saturn's going to be in your 2nd house for a little time yet. I think Saturn heads over finally into Pisces in 2024, I believe. I'm going to have to check that date. It's a moment to remark on, though. It's going to herald in a big change, a big shift in the group consciousness. So for the moment, this restriction in your 2nd, I would look at it as like a healthy boundary. I think Capricorns are very good at budgeting, so continue to do so. That's what, I wouldn't take that in any other way than Saturn's in my 2nd house to remind me to prepare. But I see in your intuitive tarot, I got the 5 of Cups again, which is the energy we explored last reading. The solar eclipse in Scorpio, the grief that no doubt revealed itself or showed up in some way, the sort of moment of reflection. In the 5 of Cups, there is the lamentation over these 3 that have fallen. There's also 2 that are still full, and they're right here. So this figure in black is invited to turn and to pick up the 2 cups that still remain after the important moment of grief is taken. So yeah, in regard to your sense of community and friendship and humanity, I can definitely see that there was some work done here, as far as maybe dealing with feelings of loneliness or looking to perhaps try and align one's values with a particular community and that not really lining up, or feeling a bit desolate, feeling a bit individual but lonely in the space of community. That may have shown itself in some way, or maybe that was a feeling that you were really actively working through at the last eclipse. Maybe there was a nice revelation of welcome that happened for you. But I have the Lovers in your reading here too. So I got the Sun, the 5 of Cups, the Lovers. The Lovers is Gemini energy, and the Lovers, as much as it looks, it's gorgeously romantic, it's air energy, so it's mentality, and it really signifies a choice that is going to present itself, a choice that needs to be made. I find this fascinating because the back of the deck energy that I got for you is Temperance, which is not so much about a choice. It's about balancing 2 disparate forms, balancing fire and water, melding them, having them both work to their strengths for your benefit in a beautiful alchemical magical way. So I guess if I was to sum up this reading in like one sentence, it would be like, you can do both, Capricorn. You may come across a fork in the road in your path coming up to this eclipse or soon after, and it may have you feeling at odds with your 5th house, expression, children, joy, creativity, and your 11th house, friendship, optimism, humanity, the group collective. That your individual experience is being highlighted here for me. It's sort of like, if I make this choice, then I don't have access to that world anymore. And that could go either way. It's sort of like, well, I have a feeling that there is going to be some kind of choice for you, Capricorn. And Temperance is here. You can see they've got matching wings. Those beautiful red wings from both those angels. They're both talking about something, but in completely different ways. Gemini is the lovers. It's a choice of two. Will I have this or will I have this? Will I decide upon this path or this path? And it's being, sent from the heavens, a divine choice. Temperance is, I have fire, I have water, I have passion and magic, and I have emotional fulfillment. If I play it right, I can meld them together, and I can actually have both of these energies working in beautiful sync, so I don't need to make a choice and leave one behind. That's what I'm really picking up quite strongly in this reading, Capricorn. And I think that there's almost something with this 5 of Cups peeking out. There's something about the lamentation of one of the choices or one of the options not being viable. But I think in some way, this reading is sort of guiding us to this ecliptical point where, like a bolt out of the blue, there will be the option. There will be something will emerge that is presenting itself to you to decide upon. Am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? I think the message in the cards for you at this eclipse is, I would hasten to consider it a choice between two polarities. And I would wonder to myself, can I take advantage of this newfound offering? Can I take advantage of this beautiful new hope and luck and optimism and truth that has presented itself to me, this option? And can I maintain the counter to that? Can I, for want of a better phrase, can I have my cake and eat it as well? That's what I feel for you at this eclipse, Taurus. It seems quite, I don't know, maybe it's because it's an earth eclipse as well. It sort of feels kind of aligned with your energy, Capricorn, Taurus. Yeah. The point of focus, the north lunar node has been in Taurus. This is why the eclipses happen. That's the point of interception. We've spoken about this, but also in astrology, it's like the point of focus. So if your 5th house of self-expression, creativity, joy, kids, inner child, all of that, all of the sun card offers us, if that's been some point of focus for you lately, and if that's been something that you have been feeling a little 5 of Cups over, then I wonder how this choice may present itself to you on or around this eclipse. I wonder what new possibilities might be occurring here. Yeah. Think about November the 19th, think about April the 30th, and relate that to your 5th house, relate that to your sun card. And see if you can, in some ways, because we don't have to do anything, remember, it's an eclipse, it will just happen. So I wonder if there's things that you can remember from those times gone by that you can call in and recognize and go, oh, I'm working with the energies of the planet. I'm really in sync. this is going to work out for my greatest benefit. That's lovely. There might be a little moment of recognition that you can find there. All right, Capricorn, that's your reading. I liked that one. That was lovely. Head to umaruby.com, go to the readings page and book yourself a fire, water, air, earth or spirit reading with me. I use tarot and your birth chart. If you're a return client, book yourself a witch reading. That is an hour of power with you and me, your chart in the background, but mostly tarot, where you ask the cards a question. Anything you want to ask about, we can ask and see what comes up in a witch reading. That's if you're a return client. If you're a new time customer, I highly encourage you booking that birth chart reading. Much love to you, and I'll be speaking to you in 2 weeks for the new moon in Sagittarius. A lovely moment of reprieve where we get to reactivate our magic makers and work with fire, work with water, earth and air, and call in what we most desire. Much love to you, Capricorn. I'll speak to you then. Bye.